My name is Natalia Marie Poland. My middle name Marie comes from my mom. Her middle name is also Marie, so it's one of my favorite things that I get to share that with her. My first name, though, came from actually one of my mom's friends while she was pregnant with me. She and her friend were out and about, and her friend mentioned that she loved Russian names like Natasha and Natalia, and that is how my name came to be. So I was a BYU baby, but in all honesty, Texas is home. When I was about 7 years old, my parents got divorced. Of myself and my two siblings, I'm the only one that remembers it because I was the oldest and I was about 7 at the time. It was really hard on me, but a short while later, my mom got remarried to the man that I now call my dad. And I call my biological dad Daddy because my dad has ended up becoming this huge important person in my life. And we also probably call him that because they had a daughter together named McKenna, and so we just all call him Dad, and he's our dad. When I was 4 years old, me and my mom were on a play date at a park, and wind came and blew away one of the Tupperware lids, and I flipped out. I was frantic with my mom, being like, Mom, you have to go get the lid. You have to get the lid. Luckily, the lady that she was with actually had a kid that was diagnosed with autism, and she mentioned to my mom that I may be on the spectrum. Luckily, my mom took it well, because I imagine that some people are a bit insulted when someone might say that to them about their kid. But she took it very well and went to a doctor, and I ended up getting diagnosed with sensory integration disorder, which is under the umbrella of autism. I imagine that part of the reason she wasn't so offended was because she's had many examples that I have on the ways that I've acted growing up that have kind of led her to be a bit more understanding when someone may mention it. When I was a baby, I would stack cups over and over and just sit in the corner by myself. I also would flap my arms when I got excited, which showed my sensory issues early on. So I got sent to public school for first grade. I was previously homeschooled, which I loved because it was just me and my mom and one of my younger sisters doing it. So I really did love it. And then I had to go to public school and figure out how to interact with other kids, which was really hard. For instance, I was that kid in the class that would raise my hand and say, Teacher, you said we'd do this at 9. It's now 9:05. So my mom got a bunch of notes home. I continued. So previous to my time coming to school, my mom had always raised me that my disability was nothing that could ever limit me. However, as I entered BYU and started school, it was a huge wake-up call for me. I quickly learned that my disability was going to end up being a bit of a hindrance in a lot of ways in me trying to succeed. So previous to my time coming to school, my mom had always raised me that my disability was nothing that could ever limit me. However, as I entered BYU and started school, it was a huge wake-up call for me. I quickly learned that my disability was going to end up being a bit of a hindrance in a lot of ways in me trying to succeed. With this struggle, it required me to actually learn what I needed as someone who was diagnosed with autism, and it ended up being an amazing experience. As I've struggled, I've learned to be grateful for what makes me unique. For instance, my enthusiasm led me to being great during my internship at Walt Disney World. My excitement was contagious, and I loved meeting all of the wonderful people. Gaston even remembered me after 2 months in between our meetings, and I still have wonderful friends there. One blessing has been my terrible memory. I don't remember anything. I have a really terrible memory, but that has also allowed me to forget most of the hard situations that happened to me growing up and me struggling to be able to make friends, and it has allowed me to be positive as I've strived to become better. My need to understand how and why people are the way they are has actually led me to my major of geography tourism, which I absolutely love. I wouldn't trade it for the world, and in all honesty, I would have never found it if it had not been for my struggles. Because of me struggling with this disability, it has now led me to want to help others like me. My goal is actually to work at another university and hopefully help other students like me who have either invisible disabilities like autism, anxiety, or anything else, and help them be better accommodated for, because I am able to succeed because of my professors and academic advisors and my mom, who have stood by me this entire time as I have struggled. I love my family with all my heart, and it is because of them that I am able to succeed today. That is me.